It's really good. Coming fresh out of the water, I think 3 years later after season one, season two was actually a real pleasant surprise to me because personally, I thought it was great. A lot of people would disagree or agree with me because I don't really know why. A lot of people are just like split on it, whether they're saying they hate it, it should have never been made, or people say they love it. This is a great adaptation of it. I'm on this side. I'm on the side that says that it's great. It's a great adaptation of it. Let me get into a couple of reasons why. Number one, I think it expands upon everything season one like may have been a little weak on, like in terms of like acting. I mean, you'll still have times that I think some of the lines could have been delivered like a little bit more faithful to the anime. I'll get into spoilers in a little bit. Right now, we'll stick with just like how I feel about it. So, when we get into spoilers, I'll let you know so you could just like click off and go watch it for yourself because honestly, I really do think it's really worth watching. They do a super job with all like the costumes, the environments, the characters. I think they're all fleshed out very well. And I was really surprised with some of the characters' performances within that within those 8 episodes, I would say. I think the dedication that the actors show to their roles is like super phenomenal, and I could really tell while watching it. It's just like such a passion project, and it's like it's super cool because some of the actors, like for one of them, like Sanji, I see all the time on like my Instagram Reels feed. I see him just like training to do like actual kicks when he really doesn't need to do that, but it's just like it really immerses you more in the story seeing him like actually hit those kicks, instead of just like pretending it's like CGI and stuff. Of course, Luffy's gonna have CGI because he can't fucking stretch in real life. And then another thing is Zoro's actor. He went really crazy, and honestly, he's really convinced me to really just go to the gym after seeing that one scene where where they okay, spoiler warning. We're just gonna get into spoilers already. Fuck it. Right before we get into spoilers, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and say all the ratings for the show, I would say, is deserved, and for the weirdos that are like review bombing because they don't think it's good, even though it is. I've seen like a few like review bombs, which I think is just like cringe as fuck, where they're just like, One Piece is bad, One Piece this, One Piece that, the fucking reviews are horrible, and it's like, I don't really know. It's just a whole bunch of weird people doing weird things. Same thing with the people that say that it's not faithful to the anime. Some things, of course, you cannot exaggerate enough in real life when it comes to anime because things in real life can't like straight one-to-one adapt in real life, but I really do see them try a lot. And I see them try so much with Smoker's effects. Smoker's effects really surprised me. Like, that shit was so cool. Seeing him fight, like, that was not a letdown at all. I think the actor for Smoker as well did super, super good. And, okay, now here's your spoiler warning for real this time. We're gonna get into spoilers here. There are some things that are changed, I think either are for good and for bad. So let's start off with the good. I think some of the characters being introduced so early is kind of odd to me. For one, you see in literally episode 1, Bartolomeo. And after doing a little bit more research, it made sense. it makes sense why he was there, you know? It was kind of cool to see, because I was very confused seeing him at a Log Town, but apparently after doing research, he was actually there the whole time, and he did see Luffy on the executioning platform during that time, and that's what inspired him to be kind of just a better person and a straw hat enthusiast after that. So that made sense, and I thought that was kind of cool. But let's see who else. Brook was also another really cool. He was really cool to see very early on, because it did make sense to see him, because we did see Laboon. This was episode 2. They showed Brook really early. They did also, we'll talk about Brook first. They did show Brook very early. They didn't show too much of Brook. It was just, you know, for the backstory of Laboon, you know. It's very cool though hearing him sing. I think they did so good casting Brook. The afro, the suit. Oh my god. I love Brook as a character so much. And just seeing that was so cool to me. Seeing him sing, like, he the actor got the laugh down too. That's one of the things that I didn't expect that anybody could do other than like the main voice actors, but dude, he got the Brook laugh down. I don't know if I'm able to like play a little bit of it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll just play a little bit here, and then if my video gets taken down, I guess I'll just cut it out. I don't know. Oceans wide. But dude, he was phenomenal, man. He did a phenomenal job. All right, enough glazing there. Back to Logtown episode 1 real quick. I know I got a little sidetracked with that. They introduced Sabo really early, and I don't think they have an actor. I'm not sure if they have an actor for Sabo yet, but it's really early to have Sabo there, and I don't like that they have Sabo there, you know, because if they eventually do introduce Sabo, like, in the backstory of, like, I don't know if they're gonna have that backstory now that I think about it, but if they do have that backstory of Luffy and his brothers when he was a kid, it won't have that same emotional depth to it, seeing Sabo die when Luffy was a kid, being one of his brothers, and then seeing him in Logtown, like episode 1, then you'll know, like for just like live action watchers, of course, then they'll be like, but Sabo never died, because then they'll know, because like, oh my god, and then they realize, no, Sabo never died because he's grown up in Logtown, you know? I think that was really weird for them to do that, for them to show Sabo early on, because they never did in the anime. And Dragon, I think they did really good casting with Dragon as well. Dragon was just ore farming in episode 1. That's pretty much all he did. All he does. Smoker was really good as well. I'm pleasantly surprised with Smoker's casting, and I like the part where they kept the scene where the little girl bumped into Smoker, and then he said, "Oh, my pants must have ate your ice cream." I thought that was fun and sweet. More Zoro. Let's talk about Zoro. You know, it's my favorite character. I'm currently wearing a Zoro shirt that I have a previous video on. If you want to check that out, I think it'll be right there. You want to check that out? That's where I did a little clothing review on that. Anyway, Zoro within season 1 and season 2, I think he did great in season 1, but season 2 he shines a lot more, I would say. I feel like every character in the Straw Hat crew shines a lot more. Just like, I'm sorry I'm going to talk more about Zoro than Sanji. No offense to Sanji, because Zoro's my favorite character. I haven't even really talked about like Nami or Luffy or anybody. I think they also changed, speaking of Nami, I think they also changed like Nami's hair. Like just like the hair color. I think so. Because I just noticed that it was more vibrant and more like faithful to like the anime, I would say. Zoro, I would say, great character in season 2. One of my favorite highlights which I think is probably gonna be a lot of people's favorite highlights when they see it, is is the one moment in the anime. Oh my god. And it was so cool when he went into the sword shop and then he picked up the cursed sword. I think it's Kitetsu. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong. Saying I'm a big Zoro fan and I can't even name the cursed sword. Hopefully that one's it. I think it was really cool when they took that from the anime as well. The part where he tosses up the sword, then he puts his arm out to test his luck, to show that he can wield the cursed blade, and then the sword just goes right past as it's swinging. It swings right around his arm. I think that's a super cool part. That's one of my favorite parts about Zoro in the anime. That and like all the fighting scenes where he does. I'm not sure if the actor knows how to use swords or if they trained with swords for Zoro's role, but it sure as hell looks like it, because dude, the way he swings the swords when he's fighting, it's so fucking cool. You get a little bit of onigiris here and there as well. I don't think he does any other special moves like season 1 where he hit the 1,000 worlds, I think it was called, against Mihawk. Another weird thing, hold on. This is another thing that changed. They have Mihawk as like a more of a pronoun character during the live action compared to the anime. Compared to the anime, he's just there, one and done, seek me out, Roanoa Zoro after the fight. But after the fight, Mihawk never leaves Zoro's mind, and I kind of like that more than the anime, which is kind of weird for me to say. I know a lot of people probably hate me for saying that, but I like that more than the anime personally. That Mihawk is there in the background anytime Zoro does something. Well, not anytime. Mostly when like the scene's like focused on Zoro and like his perspective, he sees Mihawk, you know, for example, in like Whiskey Peak, basically telling Zoro the entire time that he could be better, you know, kind of like a conscience in a way, but like visual. So I thought that was kind of cool, seeing Mihawk here and there, like not actually there, but just like in Zoro's mind he's there. I think that's very cool. Dory and Bragi, I feel they did a super good job with as well. I thought Little Garden as a whole was super good. I would say the casting for Mr. 3 was also pretty spot on and perfect. I did like it. But I do wish, just like the anime, I don't know how they would do that. Probably CGI. How he has like the 3 on his head. I wish it would like bounce how it did in the anime. I thought that'd be funny. My only complaint about Usopp is nothing really, just visually. Ever since season 1, I wish he had his nose. I wish he had his nose. I wish he had his long nose like Pinocchio, but no, he just has a normal nose. And I feel like that just like loses a lot of like value for jokes, you know. That's like Usopp's 2 traits. No, 3 traits. Sniper, liar, big nose. You get rid of one of his 3 traits. It's fucked up. Vivi. This has been a very controversial topic. Princess Vivi. Vivi in the anime and Vivi in the live action. I personally think Vivi, the actor, did a phenomenal job with Vivi. And I low-key don't even remember the dance she did in the anime, but after seeing the dance in the anime and the dance in the live action, she was also saying how she had like limitations to her movement because the hypnotic dance had to be like more like fluid, like this, but there was more limitations because she was wearing like a corset. So I think with that, she did pretty good with just like choreographing that on the spot. Like I would have never thought that she would have done that on the spot. Oda handpicked everybody, you know, the author of the show that you watch normally, the anime, handpicked all of these actors. So you saying that you don't like what they picked, it's basically like a spit in the face to the creator saying that you don't think that he knows how to tell his own story. Mind you, brother, man, it is his fucking story. Like, it's literally the greatest piece of fiction ever created, ever written, and ever drawn, and ever shown. Glazing aside, that's all true. Now let's move on to Nico Robin.
Then something just snapped. Something inside of me. I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about being better than Kakarot.
Amazing character. Spot on. I don't think any other actor could play Robin. One actor I would say I do like, for sure, is Chopper. Chopper's voice actor did super good. I really do wonder, though, this is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why they didn't choose to go with Chopper's voice actor, because, you know, you're not going to see Chopper because he's just straight CGI. I think, no, this isn't me saying that the voice actor did bad. I think the voice actor did great. I was just wondering why they would go out of their way to find another voice actor for Chopper when Chopper already has one for the English dub. Is it because the voice actor didn't want to do the live action? I don't know. If that's the reason, that's probably why. I think they also pulled Kureha's actor straight out of the anime as well. They casted her 1-to-1. Same thing with Hero Look. They look phenomenal. Hero Look and Kureha look phenomenal. One thing I will say, though, that doesn't look as good that I think they probably could have improved on is Chopper's like man beast form. And Dalton's like man beast form. That's I don't know. I think Dalton's okay. I would say more of like Chopper's, because Chopper's just kind of looks, you know. I just don't like the teeth. The teeth are like all like rabbity. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't like opt in for like the human teeth, since it's like man beast form. I thought that was odd. I would go ahead and give One Piece live action season 2. I'd give it like a 9 or an 8.5, honestly. Super strong. Hard 8.5, light 9, I would say. Reason being, some things they could have improved on. Of course, there's always room for improvement, no matter what it is in life. Or whatever it is you're making. Even this that I'm making right now, there's room for improvement, of course. I'm glad that the team always works on improving upon their last work. And I truly believe the next season of One Piece live action, whenever it does decide to come out, will be better than season 2. I really do think so. Whether that's going to be Usopp finally getting his long nose, Chopper getting an updated man beast form, or a line delivery going to be better. One last thing I want to highlight on was Hero Look's death. I really think it should have been more faithful to the anime, and like, because inside I feel like it loses impact value when I was watching it, like a little bit as much. He didn't like shout his last lines where he was just like, "I have had a wonderful life. Thank you, Chopper." He didn't yell that at all. He just said it in like a monotone voice. I feel like the anime did do that better. Of course, the anime is going to be better. I don't know why I'm comparing it like that. I feel like what I'm trying to say is that I feel like it could have been more faithful to the anime in executing those set of lines mostly. I feel like that line out of anything could have been said better. But other than that, I think Hirlik's character was fantastic and very depressing, I would say. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Hard 8.9 or light 9. I would give One Piece live action season 2. And agree or disagree, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy, of course. And that's pretty much it. See ya.